Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of Ask Dr. Zaino Live. Thank you all for being on here. Man, I don't know what it is about today, but we have a packed house already. So again, thank you so much for being on here and being on time. And I know we were like a minute late, so apologize for that. We are going to rock the house tonight. It's going to be worth your time being here, I promise. We have a lot of great questions I see posted in the chat already. Just continue to keep those questions coming. We'll try to get to them all as we go. Thanks again. So you saw another question that we posted there. Below that chat, you'll see a link to the dynamic dinner training, free training that shows you how to set up talks and dinners in your community. You're going to love that training. We put a lot of hard work into that. And you just click on the link and enter your name and email. And guys, I guess that's it, other than the social media links below the video. Make sure you're clicking those and you're sharing them and posting them and pinning them and all that good stuff. So Dr. Zaino, are you there with us today?
I'm here, buddy. What's going on?
Hey, not too much. See if I get it to switch cameras on you.
Is it or is it not?
Yeah, there we go. Well, we see your picture anyway. So
Really?
Yeah.
You don't have my video?
No, we see, but it's a good picture of you. So, and we can
Dude,
hear
that's
you.
crazy. I'm telling you, like this is something's weird with Google.
Yeah, that's actually, guys, that's why we were a minute late there, is we had a little bit of technical difficulties with Google. I don't know what the deal was.
I know.
So we can hear you just fine, so we're good.
So you
Oh,
don't.
there you are. I see you now.
Okay.
Yep.
Nuts.
Well,
You see me?
we got you.
Okay, let's do it.
Awesome. You doing good today?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you.
Very cool. Well, let's go ahead and dive into some of these questions. We got some good stuff here. All right. So the first one, it's kind of a long question, but I think I get what she's asking. It says, I purchased your Dinner Talk series about 6 months ago and was very impressed with the content given. I would like to start incorporating your program into my own within my community and to start promoting my own profession along with chiropractic. She puts in parentheses, I'm not yet a registered chiropractor. She says, number one, what are your thoughts in regards to promoting the importance of spinal care and effects using your program without a doctor? Just my personal story, experience, and knowledge. And then if you were looking for a potential employee or business partner was to come to you with these ideas, what would you like to see as far as a business plan and for a plan forward to help the community that you serve? So that's what a great idea if you're looking for a job, to be able to learn this system and know it. I tell you what, that would be a huge benefit to an employee that I was going to hire. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, if someone well, first I'll start from the last question to the first. So the more skills you have, the more unique you are, the more value you are, and the more powerful you'll be at a job. Like you'll never have to worry about it. So when you're looking at people coming in, it's like, having a degree is not gonna having a great resume or a degree or you went to school isn't the deciding factor. It's the skills. Can that person speak? Are they good managers? Are they good at financial objections? If they have certain skills, if they worked in sales before, well, that you develop these skills. That's a very, very important thing to be. Each skill you have, it puts you in a higher class as far as how you stick out and how you'll definitely, the person with the most skills has the most power. The dinner talk has nothing to do with if you're a chiropractor or not. Anybody could do that talk. Like I said, some doctors don't like to talk. That's their fear. Their CAs do it. So you're educating the public 100% on a principle of law. It's a law of life. It's like, do I need to be a doctor to talk about gravity? Absolutely not. I don't, my school doesn't equip me and doesn't allow me to talk the principle. The principle's the principle. So you could talk it, and the more you know it, and if you have that skill, so right there, when you have the skill, the dynamic dinner, you could put on your resume or tell people you are a speaker, you're an influencer, you are a marketer, you could successfully bring pre-qualified patients, you could book appointments. I mean, you got 6 skills there. You know how to set up the talks, you know how to bring people to talks. It's like 8 skills, 7 skills. It's insane. So yeah, great. I mean, what a way to invest in yourself. So I believe I answered that. Of course, if I didn't know anything about the dinner and someone says, listen, I'm trained in this skill, 100%, because that's what I want. When I get an associate, what do I want? Yes, they have to adjust. Yes, they have to do the internal things. But what's the most valuable thing an associate could do is increase the bottom line, right? Getting more new patients in. So can they screen? That's why Dr. Tabor has this. Remember Tabor, when I had the guys come, I got Tabor's screening kit. Here it is. Talk to the master. He knows how to do the screening. So I have to teach them how to screen, how to do talks, because they could screen better than they can do a talk in the beginning. So, but the talk is the ultimate goal. If they could go out there and speak the principle and do a talk, but yet do a talk that closes and leads people into the office in a very wonderful way, that's the ultimate goal. So if I saw that, I would throw 100 resumes out the door and be like, that's the one. I wouldn't even have to see, it didn't matter. And then the second thing I would have to hear you do it. Now, if you did, you said you could do it and you heard it and you didn't, then that'd be a different story. But if you legitimately, sincerely know it, you're in the 0.00001% of people that will be hired anywhere for top dollar. You could get top dollar for that.
Yeah.
Agree?
Agreed, man. Great question. Great answer.
Tabor,
Absolutely.
would you want an associate who could do a dinner talk right now?
I would love that. That would be
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
There you go.
So call me if you want that position.
Right.
Yeah. Next question here actually is from student Ryan. You remember Ryan from
All
the
right.
Character Thought Leaders Seminar? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like he's wanting to go into businesses and set up lunch talks. It looks like he says if you were to do a cold walk into a corporate building / office and speak to someone, what value benefit would you emphasize, i.e. a health talk, better workers with more energy, better brain function, better employees, with the end result being that you are then granted permission to do a lunch talk for the company?
Yeah. Well, it's a tough one, Rye. In today's society, when you walk in, if someone walks in, picture the scenario, you're behind the desk and someone walks through the door and they see a nice dressed person, with something in their hand, they're walking towards them and you don't know who they are, automatically defenses go up and you'll
Yeah.
do your pitch and you got to go through all the red tape and they're going to be like, and it could be very well, it could be really great. It could be the best influence in the world, but they'll be like very nice, but they don't know you. It's cold. I went to a mastermind with Garrett Gunderson a couple of weeks ago, and he had the best point ever. He's like, the best way to get into all these people, these places, is you need to have an introduction, meaning that you need to know someone on the staff, on the team, employee. You need someone to make the intro for you. For instance, Tabor's the COO of a firm. I'm like, hey, Tabor, my doctor, he does these amazing talks on health. I think it would totally change my life and benefit me. His name's Ryan, Dr. Ryan, and be on the lookout for him. He's going to actually be calling. So let whoever needs to know, and I'll help you do it. Where you really need to at least hear him out and see if he could come and do a talk here. So when Ryan comes in, he's already warmed up. Oh yeah. She was talking about that person because Garrett was given an example that he wanted to meet somebody. And what he would do is he would say, well, who knows that person? So it could be Richard Branson, it could be whoever, if you want to meet like someone. So he wanted to meet this person, and he's like, well, he first finds out, well, who knows that person? He goes to Patrick Temple. Do you know that guy? Yeah, I know that guy. Hey, listen, can you tell him about me? Can you introduce me? So that's the whole key. It can't be cold. You need a warm introduction. You need to kind of be let in, whether it be a patient of yours or something like that. So the best thing to do, you could walk in, you could try, but you may get a little frustrated if you don't know someone in there. Otherwise, it's very cold. And today, cold doesn't mean we'll give you a chance. Cold means you're blocked out. They'll put you in the stack with the rest of the people. So you have to have a key. You have to have a meeting. You have to have someone that connects you guys. You know what I mean? So that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, I agree. And I've done a lot of it, walking in and trying to set up screenings cold, and it's a numbers game, and it's not a very good number either. But you know what? If that's, if you're just hustling and you're hitting the streets, then more power to you. But yeah, it's all better if you have an in already and a patient that you can get to set you up there. Next question. Hey Tabor, you guys mentioned lead boxes last week, and we are only placing lead boxes in like-minded businesses or any business that is willing. You had also mentioned that you pass out coupons and flyers in return for lead box placement. What if the company is not like-minded, i.e. burger and fries? Do you still hand out their flyers? I don't remember mentioning that, but
No, no. What he was saying is when I first started, I would go to like Dream Tan, or
oh, yeah,
Dark Tan, and say, "Here, can I put a Dropbox?" Yes, and they would give me a little coupon, and I would put it in the new
gotcha.
patient folder.
Oh,
And
yeah, yeah,
so,
yeah.
I didn't go to a burger and fry place, So we had Vitamin Shop, Dark Tan, just little nutrition stores, any place we could, but a bowling alley.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just, what, I never even thought about burger and fry place because I don't eat that, so I never went in there. And you know what? I don't
yeah,
really think you want McDonald's people coming into I mean, it's a
probably.
good place. I get it, but no, I would just stick to people who kind of align with the mission. Where you're like, well, what's a tanning bed have to do with it? You're right. It just happened to be a place that I used to go to a tanning bed, and I
Yeah,
just wanted it anywhere. But it wasn't like, even if it was a burger and fry place, guys, remember, what are you doing? You're inviting people to a dinner,
yeah,
and chances are the meal you give them isn't GMO free. It's not. It's probably antibiotics. There's all types of shit in the food anyway. Come on, right? And the
right.
thing is, but it's to get people congregated in one location to tell the principal. So if you got 10 people at a burger place who want a meal, great. So yeah, just get people, teach them the principle, and then change their life so they don't go back to the burger place.
Yeah.
No.
You know who's doing a good job at that right now is, and I think maybe we'll bring out more or work with them later, is that Brian Clay and Caleb Braddock and them. I know they put them in restaurants and then do lunch
Yeah.
talks there. And I don't know their whole system, but I know that it works really good. So
Well, yeah, I talked to Caleb. He's actually, and we'll touch base with, they're actually developing a lunch talk system. And
awesome.
so as soon as they're done, we'll have it for you guys. I'm not
Great.
going to reinvent the wheel on that one. So
Yeah, no,
we'll bring that to you guys. So hold tight. We'll get you there. But regardless, remember, just don't make it complicated. I want to get as many people in one location. I don't care how they get there
yeah,
or where they came from.
yep,
Because who
absolutely.
needs it more? Probably the people who go to the burger place.
Well, that's true.
Right? So yeah, can't be prejudice.
So good stuff. Next question. How aggressive are you in the ROF after the doctor's report with people that say it depends on the cost of care?
This is like in the room.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
right.
yeah,
Well, it'd be like, well, say if is that an if or a how? That's what we all say. Is that if the cost is right, or is it if you're going to get care if the cost is right, or how are you going to pay for it?
right.
Well, if the cost is right. Well, if the cost is right, then you approach it, be like, well, this is, then we got to be committed because if you don't take care of this, then what's going to happen? You just got to take them down that road. But usually, if you do a good job in the masterpiece, we're hitting that so often over and over. So if you don't take care of this, so if someone says, so if this person said they didn't have the time or the money, what would you do? Well, I'd still do it. Would you find it? Yeah, we'd find it. I'm like, well, I go and I say, maybe, you guys say you'll find it in here, but you know how many people go back there sometimes and say, well, you would say, well, it's if the cost works out. I go, but when it comes to disease, does disease wait until you have the money to pay for it? No, I go, the longer disease there, is that going to cost you more money, less money, or more money later on? More. Okay, so would it be cheaper and more affordable to take care of it early or late? Early. I go, so you telling me this, why would anybody say if the money? So you can put that. So I learned from those lessons. So you clearly got that objection very in the last couple of days, and that's what you bring to your masterpiece report now. You definitely focus on that. So I remember a time I had like 3 Dave Ramsey things. We're doing the Dave Ramsey thing, and I crushed Dave Ramsey like the next doctor's report, and I'd never heard of a Dave Ramsey excuse again. Yeah, because you got to bring to the report the objections before they get into the back room. So the reason why I don't hear these things in the back room is because the master's piece report, and I know it's not just another talk. You have no idea how many layers deep. It's every objection you guys ever heard. It's specifically and scientifically placed in certain locations with the right stories to destroy all objections. So
Yeah,
that's why we don't hear that one, just like we don't hear, trying to get debt free and all this other stuff because we nail it. You just
right.
address it. You got to, because when they bring it up to you and it's now a cockfight back and forth, I mean, it's amazing. You're trying to convince them to help themselves. It's really crazy. So at that point, you're like, you just know in your head, well, next time I got to do a better job in the report.
Yeah, right on. Good stuff. The next one, I think, is a question. I don't see any question marks, but it says, going cash, A to Z. We're looking to get out of the insurance game. And I think he's basically asking, how would you do that?
Yeah, let me take care of this question. Tomorrow
Yeah.
you're cash. Tomorrow you're cash. And shut up about it and don't whine about it. Tomorrow you're cash. Every fee is cash. So the people that are on insurance, when they come up to their re-exam or their end of care plan, their maintenance plan is all cash, and that's it. So the people that are currently on insurance, you still got to bill that. When the corrective care is done, they're all cash. Maintenance, wellness, and maintenance is cash. Your next report of findings all cash. That's it.
Yep.
Don't overthink it. And if you're overthinking it because you don't want to go real cash. So it's a decision made now, and everybody knows cash, and everybody, you're just kind of like waiting till the insurance runs out because they're just finalizing their plan. And it's as simple as that. Don't overthink it. Give people a super bill, have them say, hey, listen, deal with your own insurance company. Everybody asked that question. I remember we did a Zaino experience, and the guy wanted a refund. He's a tool. He's like, oh, you didn't go over how to go cash. I'm like, dude, we told you. He didn't like the answer because he wanted something more complicated. He's like, I'm like, we went over it and over and over. Like, it's very easy. You got to make a decision.
Yeah.
But he don't want to build more value. I'm like, dude, come on. We totally went over it. You just got to say we're cash, and that's it. The next care plan is all cash.
Yep.
Yeah. And then you got to build value, and that's why the report's going to be so important now after that.
Right. Yeah, it's a pull the trigger decision.
It really is, Tabor. You can't wishy-wash that one,
Right. Yeah, and like you have to also, like you said, add value. Like you have to be confident that what you're doing is more valuable than the financial exchange that they're giving you. So very good. Let's see. Last question live we have on here so far is, and by the way, guys, just keep putting questions down there if you have them. I know we have a lot of people on the line tonight, so feel free to post questions in the chat below. I'm in a very small town, limited places to host, and very rural, small population. Any suggestions or advice?
Yeah, host a party on your lawn. Dr. Sikowitz used to do that. He was in Pennsylvania. He was 20 miles from the nearest town. He used to have fried chicken and watermelon parties on Sundays. And he used to x-ray everybody. And he saw 2,000 people per week out of his house/office. That's what he did. Listen to your audios. That's exactly what he did. So I love hearing that answer. Small rural town. You're blaming your circumstances. Stop being a victim. There's clearly not enough people in your town to see the whole town. You wouldn't be able to handle it, right? So, I mean, right, Tabor? Like in your city, if you have 100,000 people in your city, you're not going to see 100,000 people.
Yeah.
With a big vision. So that's it. Yeah. So hold big festivals, food festivals, lawn parties. Put out flags. Because if it's a smaller town, they're going to be everybody's kind of in the know, right? So you could probably get away with those like little park parties and stuff like that.
Yeah, dude, I imagine that being actually
barbecue.
Really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, barbecues. There you go. It's summertime.
Yeah, that would be a blast.
Get a little speaker.
I might do that in our parking lot or something, dude.
Yeah, kids could run around, right? They could bring their kids. They could run around and stuff, and then you just rip your dinner talk. And if you have I don't know what type of office, but you could do it in the parking lot. Absolutely.
You know what Rick Rand does? He once a year, they've been doing it for like 20 years, is they will move the adjusting tables outside and put like tarps over them, and they will adjust all their patients outside and have a big barbecue, and then like people driving by see and everything. He says it's awesome.
There you go. I mean, it's really like have fun with it.
Yeah, he lives in a small town up in North Texas. So, and then a quick story, if you don't mind me telling it, because we get a lot of questions. They're like, well, what if I'm just starting a practice? I don't have a patient list or patient base to pull from, and all these types of things. Well, I want to tell you that we just opened a second office, and really, I wouldn't call it a rural community. It's a suburb of Houston, but it's a little bit further out there. And we just started. We basically started from scratch. We moved in. We had some patient files that were already there, and through Facebook, Facebook advertising and email campaigns to some of the reactivation. We have our first dinner on Monday night, and we already have 20 people RSVP'd. And I've never even lived in that city. I don't know anybody in that city. We got 20 people, and I expect to have 40. That's our max that we could get in the private room there at the restaurant we're taking. And I expect us to hit 40 by Monday. So, there's an example of starting scratch and doing the first dinner and packing it out right there.
Yeah, I wish I did that. I mean, that's exactly what I do. I'd have no hours, and I would just do a dinners every week.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's see. I guess this is talking about your report of findings here. It says, how many questions do you usually have to ask in the room?
4.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. What for?
Yeah. What do you see?
Yeah, for the person who just wrote that, if you can clarify your question.
I think he means the questions. Like, what do you see? What's that do in your body?
Right.
What happens if you don't correct it?
Gotcha. Yep.
And then I go over their goals. I kind of say that I go, here's your goals, and I point to the X-ray. I'm like, is this compatible with those goals? And they're like, no. So I'm like, if it's not compatible, you could either lower your standards and change your goals or fix your problem. What's the decision you're going to make? They're like, I'm going to fix my problem. And then I said, okay, well, you'll be right in. I walk right out. No use hanging out. Like, okay, you're going to fix your problem. And I'm out. So that's pretty much. And sometimes I go, what do you see? What's that in your body getting sicker? What if you leave it there? It's going to get worse. And they'll say, yeah, let's correct it. And when they say that, I stop. I don't even go over the rest of the X-ray. So I understand if someone say, yeah, let's correct it. Let's do this. All right, I stop. Because then what happens if you just keep on going because you're just doing your routine? It's like, hey, I'm in. All right, let's go.
Yep.
So just listen to them. Listen to their answers.
Well, and I'll add too that what you said, I think it was last week, it was like, when you have tons of new patients, those little things aren't that important to you. Like, and I noticed this on one of my reports. My associate, Dr. Evan, wasn't there for the reports, and I had 5, which was a little bit over what I normally have in my report, just doing it by myself, right? And so I'm going and I'm like, this plan or this plan? What do you want to do? Like, tell me, because I got to go. You know what I mean? And I had better results that night than any other because I was sitting there going, you guys, you just need to make a decision here because I got to get out of here, And people would just be like, well, okay, I guess we'll do, you know what I mean? But it was just like there wasn't a need. It was like, take it home and think about it if you want to, but I got to move on,
You weren't needy. And you weren't needy,
yeah.
and you weren't needy, and you weren't trying to build rapport for them to like you. It was like, here it is, and you had a little bit of stress and you had a lot of urgency because you had to get to the other room. So that's why, people, well, how do you fit all? It's like, I love it when you have a lot of new patients because, and your office is busy because then, each word has intention behind it. So you say the most and the least, and that's very powerful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like even on our phone call today, Dr. Tabor, and this is kind of like a side story, like even the phone call, we called Dr. Stephen Franson. And Tabor always is the nice guy. And and I'm the straight to it person. And so and I know Steve, he was busy talking to people. I'm like, and I get right into it. All right, Steve, we're doing this dinner, just boom, boom, boom. And Tabor's like talking, I'm like, Tabor, stop. Steve, when it comes out, we got it. Just like, cause he, it's like, my goal is to get that call done in the least amount of time. End result, in least amount of time out, and I remember Tabor sometimes like the tech guys, who make a website, they try to do small talk, and I'm like, I do not do any small talk on the phone. Like, it's almost rude to a point, but it's like, hey, listen, time, seconds are everything.
Well, and I talked to Jason Deitch today too, man. That guy can talk though, and I think maybe I talk too much too. We talked for about an hour on there.
Well, he's a wonderful person. He's so smart too.
He's a great guy. Very smart. Yep. All right, so let's see. One more question here. Do you go back into finances if the closer can't close them?
Okay, a very good question. And I used to. When he would come out, and I used to be, and she's like, yeah, they're not going to do it. And we used to try that where I would go in, but then I was trying to win. You follow what I'm saying? It's like if I went in there, and because what is my wife's job? See, I would blame Whitney or the financial person, but then I realized that their job is just to go in and say, here's the care plan. Like their job is not to close them. It's like it was my responsibility to get a strong commitment. And so if you feel, even maybe throw that into the question, well, in the doctor's report, I talk about the prices anyway. So I do all that in the masterpiece. But like, if they're having a tough time with the person who delivers the finances, it's because they didn't clear any objections with you. And if you're the doctor and do the finances, it's almost better. Because imagine that they tell me one thing and they'll tell my wife or someone else something totally different. And so yes, I want to go back in that room, but then it's like a ping pong. I was like, you know what? If I did my reported findings, they said yes, 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 yes. They'll do whatever it takes. Da, 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 da. And then when you come in, then they give you a different story. I can't. Now I'm going to try to win this and persuade them. So they don't want to take care of it next. Like Tabor said, we have 4 other people to go through. But no, that's a very good question. I used to want to do that to win. But then you're I don't want to say persuading.
He come back with another question there. It says, you drop a financial anchor in the doctor's report, but do you actually tell them the total cost of the care plan?
Yeah, I just said that right there.
Yeah,
tell them the care plan. Every case I go over, I tell them the care plan. Yeah. So I'm like, one guy's like 7 months later. So at 7 months, he invested $5,500 into his care at this point.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Okay. I got you.
This person right here, here they're 10 months later. At the 10-month mark, they invested $4,800 into their care so far at this point.
Wow. Nice.
And the reason why I do that, because that's corrective and now they're on maintenance. Because then when I go show them their care plan, it's going to be cheaper because it's just the corrective plan. But I get that number in their head because I'm contrasting with, a $25,000 migraine testing bill, $100,000 surgery he was going for. The guy's, both his kids have $7,000 worth of braces on each teeth. And here this guy's kidney healed for $5,500. I tell him, I go, the best care isn't the best care. And I said, the most affordable care is the one that works. It's not the $100,000 and it's not the $19 down the road. It's the one that works. That's the most affordable care. Everything else is a waste of your money. That's a bad investment. That's debt. But when you do something that works, that it's investment in your health, that will give you 100 times what you've invested into it because you're investing into your health. So yeah, I just go ahead, Tabor, and just so they hear 5,500, 4,800. When they, all that,
Well, that's brilliant because you're not going like everybody in our office gets a $2,500 care plan, and you know what I mean. You're saying like this person invested this, and you're showing the results and what they got from that investment, and it changed their life, and then perfect. I love it, man.
And I go, because let's get the cat out of the bag. What do people want to know? The main questions in the masterpiece is like you say, well, number one, do I have a problem? So that's why, Tabor, I show them the nervous system sheet. We give it to them before they go into the doctor's report. They're holding in their hands the nervous system sheet with their atlas number, their arc of life number, and all the subluxations on the spine. So they literally have the results in front of them because they would have the results in the back. So I want them to know, wow, okay, what do these numbers mean? There's clearly things they found. So from the minute I speak, I'm like, you're holding a piece of paper right there on that clipboard that shows you your disease processes that you know about or don't know about. And you're going to understand exactly what that means and how to correct that by the end of this. And so now when I talk about the atlas, I'm like, that first bone has to be up 31 degrees. Look, what is yours? And so like, wow, and then so here, then the curve of the neck needs to be 43. Where is yours? Some of you might have a minus sign next to that. That means it's a reverse curve. And I show them the reverse curve and the bones push into the spinal cord. The study's taken 15 years off your life. So I'm actually doing the room in the report of findings now, right? Because, well, Tabor, you told me that you show them their X. They actually have pictures of their X-rays. So I have their X-ray number findings. So I was like, well, I wonder if I could do the entire report so they already know, they know their problem. They know everything there. So really a room is a formality. The room is where they go back individually and say, yes, I'm in. And we show them the X-rays just to kind of, I guess, solidify it. I'm kind of still tampering on, if we even need the room as much as we do anymore. But it's like they have the listings. They see their problems. They understand it. this is me. I'm a phase 2, and I'm teaching them as they go along with that sheet means. And so by the time they get to the room, they know they have a problem, because before they would go to the room after I spoke for an hour, see their x-rays, and then, but they didn't know what to pay more attention to. They're like, my neck's straight, like, but now they know, crap, I have a negative curve, and this takes 15 years. So, you know what I mean? Like, because I remember over an hour, they're not going to remember all that in the little room. But as we're going, if I'm teaching them what the atlas is, what the neck is, what the phase 2 is, and now this sheet they hold, that nervous system sheet, becomes alive and personal. Now when they go back to the room, I go, because at the end I could say this, guys, you already know your problem, right? When we go back there, you already know your problems. You know you're sick. You know you have disease crisis. And I have the hourglass. I'm like, it's rotting and getting worse every single day. Every single excuse. If you give me any excuse not to take care of your problem, what's going to happen when you walk out the door? It's going to get better, worse. So you know it's going to get worse. It's like a nail in your tire, right? If you see it, it's not convenient. I know you don't want it there, but what are you going to do? You're going to fix it. I go, and you know the costs. I go, you know the cost of the care plan. I go, you know everything. I go, so you're going to go back there, and then you'll see the x-ray, so you can really see what matches up with that. And then my wife will come in and she'll go over the finances with you. You know what I mean? So it's like, so they already know their findings. They actually see it for the first minute, but those findings really take on more value, because that 8/31 comes from 8/31 to my atlas bone, protects my brainstem, controls my entire autonomic nervous system. Christopher Reeve damaged that one. It should be 31. Mine's an 8. It's affected. It's a dam in the river here. So how can life get to the rest of the body? It can't. Why? And I look over. Oh, and I there's my blood pressure and my hormone issues and my sleeping disorders. So you see how real that number. So 8/31 became so real, and it got so much more value. And the reason why people don't buy is because they don't have value. You didn't build enough value to them. I'm not saying you don't build value. You didn't build enough value to them. See, that's not a you problem. For some person, they might have to, they need a lot of value to be like, yeah, that's worth it. Versus, and some people, you need to build up so much value for them to justify it.
Yeah.
So I figured that was a great way. That's been working out terrific. I mean, we've been really knocking them out of the park now. So
that's awesome, man.
Well, bonus for showing up on the show. Live, and see, Tabor and I, we give you this information because we're actually still in live chiropractic practice. How cool is that? We actually, like, we both work today, we're going to work tomorrow. And the best thing is, things are changing. Like, I can't give you stuff that worked 5 years ago. If I did a program that was 5 years ago, you'd probably get 50% of the results. Killer ads don't work anymore. Stuff just doesn't work anymore that used to, because things are changing, and we got to be ahead of the curve anytime. And we got a lot of good stuff for you as far as being ahead of the curve.
Yep, very cool.
Hey, Tabor, why don't you close with your amazing special surprise?
Okay, very cool. Well, Dr. Zaino gave me the honor to share a little bit of my vision, and I think for those of you listening that are still on, I think it'll build maybe give you some inspiration, but then for someone out there, maybe even a life-changing opportunity. And so, every day I drive around our community, and we have some of the most elaborate hospitals, and every one of them have beds that are just, overflowing, car lots that are just packed. In fact, if you guys don't mind, I want to share my screen. I want to show you just what every day at lunch I drive through hospital parking lots, and I do it just because it inspires me, because I see what my office should be. And let's see if I can find this. Yeah, here it is. All right. Well, oh well. I guess I will show you guys something else. So.
Dramatize it for us, Tabor. Just kind of like.
Dang. All right. I had it all ready to go for you.
Okay,
yeah. All right. Well, anyways, guys, these hospitals are unreal. I had pictures for you. I wanted to show you. They're private hospitals. They're owned by medical doctors. It's just like me or you own our office. These medical doctors build these hospitals that have maybe 500 beds or whatever it is, and they're just elaborate. I mean, you walk in and they are just like granite. I mean, like marble everywhere and columns. I mean, gold plated, and it's unreal. And it's like, if they're doing that in Houston, I know for a fact that every person in those hospitals should be in my office, and probably should have been in my office a long time ago. And then for every person that's in those hospitals, 10 other people around this Houston area should be in my office and should be getting adjusted. And one thing I realized too is that there's not one medical doctor or the group of medical doctors that own those places. They can't do it all, right? So they have this team of other doctors, of other nurses, of other people in that hospital that help make it go and help people. So I realized if I want to build a vision of being able to build beautiful chiropractic offices, places that people love being in, but being able to see the masses and taking, what I feel is the right way to do chiropractic. I think every one of you should feel like the way you do it is the right way to do it. But Dr. Zaino's helped me build just an amazing office already right here in Northwest Houston. And recently we just opened a second one in a suburb of Houston. And, I'm not all about demographics, and I can prove that with the office I have right now. There's literally 5 chiropractic offices on my road. And so if I could build an amazing, practice right there in between all 5 of them, you could build one anywhere. But in this practice, the reason we actually took it over is in a 10-mile radius of this office, there's like 250,000 people. And in this entire city, this suburb, there's only 4 chiropractors, and one of them practices once a month, which I don't know how that works. And the other one is a PI, which I said I'll actually refer him patients because I don't ever want to see another one of those, right? But I really feel like this office has even more potential if demographics have anything to do with it than the office I'm in right now. And what an amazing way to step into that vision of opening multiple offices. Because I don't want a giant hospital where there's chiropractic beds and all those types of things. I want to help other chiropractors as well get into offices that are beautiful. And I know that when I graduated from chiropractic school, I actually had a plan to purchase a chiropractic office. And I went through it because I was just like, a lot of you or a lot of the people coming out of school, I wanted to be my own boss. I wanted to run my own office. And so I looked into buying this practice, and the chiropractor wanted $400,000 for it. And I went to the bank to go get a loan and basically got laughed out of the bank because there was absolutely no way I was going to borrow $400,000 after having $200,000 school loans and no experience. So, I went to do an associateship, which was, a God thing. I'm so glad I did an associateship in Dr. Shanehan's office. I learned how to really practice real chiropractic and how to build an amazing office and market and take care of patients. So it was awesome. But then there was nowhere to go, because he just wanted an associate. So I wanted my own practice. And that's when I was able to start my own. And thank God I ran into Dr. Zaino and had a lot of help from a bunch of other smart people and was able to do that. So this is what I figured, is that if I start this practice in Tomball and I help a chiropractor and I take an associate and I put them in there, someone who is like-minded, who is principled, and who wants to grow and be a team and reach more people, then they can learn, because they also have to be humble and able to learn and be taught, but they can be in there. And in the first couple of years, maybe an associate type position, but then build into ownership and become the majority owner of that office. And you know what? Maybe they have the same vision as me, and then they can help me to start that third one and help another chiropractor who's like-minded to build that one. And we spread this message, the same message that we share on Chiro Thought Leaders all the time. We're able to share that with our community, and we're able to reach thousands of people just like that, those hospitals do. And maybe we're able to shut down some of those hospitals in our office. I know that's a giant goal, and it's something that I'm not the first chiropractor to ever say we should shut down hospitals, but I truly feel like we can prevent a lot of issues, chronic diseases, and help a lot of families and build offices that families want to be in and they're proud to be in. So guys, what I want to do is, if you know someone, or if you yourself want this to attempt it or to apply for this opportunity, like we said earlier, resumes are old timers. I don't want your curriculum vitae or however you say that. But if this is something that you want to do, that you'd like to partner with me or become a a member of my team here in Houston, Texas, and help us with this vision, I want you to send a video to me, just a short video. Tell me about yourself, and then also tell me why you think you'd be the perfect person for this position. All right, so you can put it on YouTube and send it to me. If it's too big, you can text it, you can email it. My cell phone number is 281-770-8859. The office number is 281-664-2250, and I'll put those in the chat below. And then and you can email it to me. My good email is drtabor@live.com. That's a personal email you can always reach me at. And let me look here. We're having a couple of posts. So if it is to be, that's right. That's why we don't have chiropractic hospitals. That's right. Love the vision. So beautiful. So that's what I want. I want everybody to just spread the word. If you know someone who is just an A player, you know, that's what we want to do. Someone who could take this message to the masses and help me with this vision, then I would appreciate that from all of my chiropractic thought leader brothers and sisters out there. So thank you, Chris, for letting me share that.
Oh, no problem. Hey, I'm your neighbor, so whoever gets that opportunity, you'll be, you know, hanging out with me a couple times too. So
yeah, absolutely, which is beautiful. We're just a short trek over there, and we're always doing stuff with Dr. Zaino's office, and that is a lifetime, a once in a lifetime opportunity and privilege right there too. Let me tell you. So.
Well, cool guys, you know what to do. Thanks for tonight. We will see you next Wednesday. Close it out, Tabor.
Awesome. Thank you all so much for being on here. Appreciate you, and we will see you next week. Talk to you later.